Okay, hey everybody, Doug at Jammin J Auto and Tire. If you're out looking for a car, there's probably a reason why. And that reason maybe is because the car you have needs a major expensive repair. Most people, if they have a good functioning driving car, they're gonna keep driving it. So when you step onto a used car lot and something else has been traded in, you have to realize that there's a reason why someone got rid of this car, and very rarely is it that it was a perfectly good working car and they just wanted something better. I mean, that does happen, but a lot of times there's a major problem. And that's why we always encourage you to take a car to someone like a repair shop and let us look it over. We can't find everything, but man, a lot of times we can steer you clear. The last thing I want you to do when you take a look at a used car lot or a used car on the lot, I want you to drive it. Does it drive straight? If you feel any vibrations, for sure, get it up on the highway. Make sure the cruise control works. When you're up at 60, 65 mile an hour, do you feel any vibrations? If you feel a vibration coming in your seat, it's coming from the rear. If you feel a vibration in the steering wheel, it's usually coming from somewhere in the front. But you'll feel different vibrations at faster speeds. Then when you start to get off the highway, actually before that, does the car drive straight on the highway? Is it pulling? Is it changing lanes? And then when you start to get off the highway and you tap the brakes, do you feel any major vibrations? A lot of times cars will shake at 65 mile an hour when you tap on the brakes a little bit, but you won't feel it at lower speeds. But as you're driving this vehicle, it should drive and brake smoothly and drive real nice. If not, there's probably another issue with the car. So once again, anything we can do to help you out, please bring it by. Let us look at a car. We can save you all kinds of money, or at least help you not buy a lemon. Thanks. I want to go over real quick some things you can look at as far as a vehicle purchase. And we always recommend that you take a car to someone and have someone like us look it over. However, I want to show you some things on this vehicle that you can kind of get a look at while you're in the parking lot. And the first thing I do when I go to look at a car is I'm going to look at some of these body gaps. You see the gap between the fender and the door, how it's the same all the way up and down. I'm going to go down this next body gap, same all the way up and down. Then I'm going to come back here. I'm going to show you on this car. I picked this one on purpose, but this body gap back here is kind of messed up. And if you notice, if you see me kneeling down, see my reflection in the paint, notice how you can see me in the top, but you can't see me in the bottom. And that's because both panels are painted black, but this car has actually had a bumper cover put on. If you notice, the texture is a different texture and it's not as shiny. So when this car got hit in the back, they didn't want to paint this whole car. They just painted just the bumper, and they'll use this little crack right there as their stopping point. By the way, this is not a good paint job. Whoever did this did not do a very nice job. Anyway, I want you to just look at that. So just by standing back and looking at the vehicle, you can notice that these body gaps are different widths. You'll know that this car's maybe been in an accident. Stand back, look at different colors in the paint. If you notice, when I look at it from right here, I can see the reflection of the car next to it. And it looks consistent all the way down. I'm not seeing any different colors. We had a car in here just the other day. Literally, the front fenders were a different color, just off enough you could really tell. Now I'm going to come up here and look underneath this hood that is magically opened. And first off, I want you to notice the leaves up in there. You should always try and clean those out of there. Water will puddle there, and it can do very bad things to cars. I do look for nest. We see nest all the time underneath hoods of cars, so I'm not seeing anything like that. And I'm going to come over to this engine. And if you notice, I'm looking at that black thing on the top right there, says 518 on it. That's actually a valve cover, but if you notice below it, it's all dry. It's no oil puddles, nothing like that. So I'm just going to look this engine over and make sure it's clean and dry. I'm not seeing any rat's nest, rodent's nest. A lot of times used car dealers will actually spray like this shiny stuff all over everything underneath the hood. I don't like that, because that means it's been power sprayed, and then they shine that stuff up there, and we literally get in situations where we can't tell where oil leaks have been washed away, things like that. So just take your time and look it over. Look for any loose hanging wires, just anything crazy that you'd see that may look out of place or something's not connected. So I'm just going to take my time and look through the engine compartment. Another thing we can look at when we're getting ready to look at a car and we're serious about it, I'm going to hop in this one real quick. Notice the interior looks pretty nice on this one. If you ever see a car that's really super dirty and it's been cleaned anyway, well, most likely the thing was totally filthy. They've done their best to clean it up, but what we found in the auto repair business, if they don't take care of the inside of the car, they haven't taken care of the outside, underside, or underneath the hood either. So be very wary of very dirty vehicles. I'm going to get in this one real quick, and I'm going to find the key, and I'm going to pop this in here real quick. And what I want you to notice is I'm coming over here to this door switch, and my window goes up and down with this switch. And now I'm going to make sure that this passenger window goes up and down with the switch. So I'm making sure that all the switches work, all the windows. I would actually want to go sit in this passenger seat and make sure that switch over works over there. If it's a 4-door, I'm going to get in the back seat and actually look one over there. And then another thing I want you to do, make sure all your switches work, but play with everything. Do all the buttons on the dash work? Do all the knobs work on the dashboard? Here's one of the things when we look at a car. This is your vent modes, whether it comes out up on the defrost or out the vents or down on the floor. Make sure that when you turn these buttons or push these buttons and turn these knobs, that they do what they're supposed to do. And the reason why is because if they don't, there's potential this car may have to come very far apart, like the dashboard out of it, just to fix a simple repair of a button. So take your time, make sure the radio works, make sure the heat works, AC, like I said, and just do a good look over. Then, if you're still happy with the car, bring it to us and let us take a look at it.